Unfortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Don't know if you've heard, but there's a post on the way to actually be heard. They could do a lot of good for abundance. But that's not going to happen today. And if you team up with them, the doors are going to close real quick in your face. The army's afraid of them. So I doubt your captain's going to want to help you anymore if you're working with them. I don't know what the right choice is, though. It's not just about overthrowing Victor, but also doing the best thing for Abundance's future, too.
Hello there, Zachariah. What do I owe the pleasure?
Well, now that you're asking, with Victor and the ASC after me, my only options are to keep running or retaliate. To retaliate, though, I need some allies.
Well, given what you've done for me, and the fact that Victor and his not-so-secret police are at the root of the plague tearing Abundance apart, you can count us among your allies, Zachariah. When you've got your next move planned, come and find me. We'll be ready whenever you are.
Good to hear. See you soon.
Traitor, get him! Give yourself up! Come on, guys, get him!
Valley, here we come.
Someone sounds excited.
Well, duh, the landscape's drop-dead gorgeous. As for the city, integrating with the valley's natural overhangs and alcoves to avoid using a metal dome, you're genius. Makes me worry about getting fried. And we'll always be strangers there.
For now, most mutants don't have an innate hatred for humans. We just need to give them time to heal.
Still, we'll never be able to walk a mile in their shoes. And for that, we'll always be outsiders. I ain't mad, though. If I were them, it'd be my personal mission to fuck up every single humanoid who said good day to me.
Right now, we must focus on uniting our nation. I understand you find it difficult to feel at home, but know that you are a friend, and that as long as I live here, you will be welcome. And when our people are finally free, I know many of my brothers and sisters will welcome you too.
Don't stress out about the roof. You won't be instantly mutated. I have heard tales. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Natural, organic, how refreshing. Humans should take notes.
This city makes me sad.
You're not gonna cry, are ya? I just had these seats cleaned.
I mean, I think I would have liked to, know before of its success. It's all right. Sad is too grandiose. Wistful, yes, wistful. By Jove, I've done it.
I'm pleased Scum was chosen. He has already proven he can lead our people. And his speech was so moving.
Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
But we would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies could help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
And some politicians would turn against Victor, so as not to lose voter support. Brilliant! We would need instigators, preferably those in touch with the people's needs.
So I was thinking, the opposition would be the perfect organization to spearhead the revolts. The alternative, though I would be more hesitant, the Vori could likely produce the same results, with different methods.
Perfect. Other ideas?
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say "Hail to the Shadow" 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, a trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that could pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
The Vori aren't doing anything about it. They must be profiting from it somehow. This is a dead end. We need to find a new approach.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
Yes, we should get to the bottom of this and see if it's serum, dirty laundry, or both. Anton probably knows. And if he is openly corrupt, the opponents of the Assembly should know him well.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But?
This is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
No, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin. Hey.
Hey, back.
Zachariah, I'm going to need your investigative talents.
What's going on?
You probably remember that someone turned in my mother. She was one of our backers in Ophir. Without her, our plans to smuggle out our brothers are quite impossible to happen. And I miss her a lot. And then there was Kane's attack while we were about to seal the deal with that Aurora official. Someone turned us to our enemies once again. This can't be sheer coincidence. Someone is trying to slow down our effort and impede our cause. Beyond the fact that what happened to my mother deserves vengeance, I must stop the one who is behind those betrayals, or he will end up making our young nation lose.
Are you thinking of someone in particular? Maybe Kane's men? After all, he did step in to scuttle the negotiations with the merchant.
No, only a few people knew my plans, and even fewer my mother's identity. Especially not Kane. He must have been given information on the negotiator. I don't have a name, unfortunately, and that's why I'm asking for your assistance. It's probably someone close. Someone who lived in Ophir with a good excuse to travel to Noctis often. You're good at investigation. I've seen you at work. Help me find the culprit and stop him from doing any more harm.
All right. I guess that we could learn more about that traitor by talking to the Valley people.
Thank you, Zachariah.